Well, hello and welcome to Old People This Week. My name is Jeff, and that rascal there who never met a doggy he didn't like, that's Mike.
Get along, little doggy.
How are you, Mike?
I'm good, Jeff. I'm good. Good to see you back home.
Yes, I'm back from a 3-week sojourn over to the ocean to get away from the oppressive heat here in the desert. And now I'm back and ready to go, full of vim and vigor, by the
And
way.
vigor.
We are your hosts. Every week we make a podcast for people who are 60 years of age and over. If you're under 60 and somehow managed to find your way here, you're more than welcome to stay because you'll learn something. Mike and I are the smartest men in America, and if not in America, then in California. If not in California, Riverside County. But if not in Riverside County, then for sure I know that we're the smartest two old men in La Quinta, California. So welcome.
At least that we know.
At least that we know. We do this podcast as a public service for aging Americans who don't want to talk about AARP subjects all the time. This is a place where we just talk about the news, the celebrities, the dirt, the gossip, all the stories you want to know about and you'll need as you head into the weekend. So you'll sound smart when you're hanging out with your friends, playing pickleball, playing golf, at the gym, or of course at happy hour, where Mike and I spend way too many hours idling away.
Do our best work.
Our best work.
Usually with a well-chilled cocktail in hand. Jeff with a red wine, and the insights and the intelligence flow from there.
I have the insights and the intelligence of a 40-year-old, by the way. Please subscribe. If you subscribe, as we've said, Mike will come to your house and bring you a peach pie, a peach cobbler, or is it a peach pie?
Cobbler. It could be either, whatever the subscriber chooses.
There you go. If you don't like to look at our faces, then subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and which both platforms that we're destroying now. Send us an email. We take all emails. We get comments and we tell you exactly what you need to know, and you can question us about anything. What to buy someone on their 20th wedding anniversary? We know the answer.
We know.
You know how to discipline ruly kids. We know that too. We know literally everything. So stay in touch. And check out our Substack at 52tasks.substack.com, where every week we impart some knowledge and give you a task to do over the course of the next week that'll make you a better person. This last week we wrote about that you should write to your younger self, and this week we're going to school you on etiquette, on manners in modern times, because Mike and I are both extremely mannered.
Masters
of the etiquette science. Oh, so we got some comments that I'll start with.
Oh, good.
One came from our listener, viewer, Jake Stewart, and he was talking about our podcast of a couple of weeks ago, because when you hear the comments, you'll know why. Okay. The first thing he said was Austin Butler. Remember we ragged on Austin Butler in this movie, The Bike Riders?
Yeah.
He says, Austin Butler, cheekbones don't make you talented. Cheekbones.
Yeah, well, then he's out of luck on another score.
I don't have cheekbones.
Not really. I do. See, look at these. Look at these. They're held up by my 3 chins.
Yeah.
So they're a little more prominent.
They're like held up by buttresses. Hey. Number 2, he said ray gun from the Olympics. Do you remember we were ragging about Ray Gun, the inept urban dancer?
It was horrible.
He said, Ray Gun from the Olympics, my toddler has better moves during his tantrums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if Ray Gun was having a seizure or attempting to break dance.
It would have been better. It would have been better if she had a seizure and shown that than the dancing that she did.
Yeah, because they could have treated it.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
God pulled her off stage.
Oh,
and then number 3, he says, God love Costco, because we had been talking about shopping at Costco and how they're raising the membership they're raising the membership amount, and they're going to check your ID when you come in.
Yeah, they're going to double check you at the door now. They're going to scan it, and your picture has to match you.
They don't like skeevy guys like you sneaking in there, getting your $5.99 chicken.
Listen, as well dressed as I am and as handsome and as coiffed as I am, I have no problem. I sail right in.
He said, God love Costco. $60 a year is worth every penny for your Cheerios addiction. And now I know what he's referring to, because I was in there and I saw my wife eats Cheerios, and she stood in front of what is a Cheerios the size of a small shipping container that would probably cost $40-50, but she was ready to drag it home. We'd have to rent a car to get the thing home.
Well, where'd you store it?
Well, we didn't. I didn't buy it. I was like, I had such a fit that she finally gave up on it. Oh man! And we also heard from listener Allison Moreland, who wrote. She's, by the way, the person who wrote in before and called us cranky old men.
Oh, that a girl, yeah.
Which, by the way, we are. Thank
We
you
are.
very much. She goes, yeah, it's my favorite guys. And I thought to myself, Allison, get
to
yourself.
Roadrunner.
Get out to the desert. We're going to buy you a happy hour drink and some calamari, and you'll love us for the rest of your life. Anyway, on to the stories for today. My first one, what bugged me all week is Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo.
I don't care anymore. She's a has-been. He's a drunk, very talented guy, but a problem, troubled drunk guy. She's lost her luster, and I don't care. I mean, I feel sorry for him, but come on.
Well,
Enough's enough.
I don't get the whole thing. The article that started me down this rabbit hole of hate about those two was after the fact, after she filed for divorce and all that. The headline was Jennifer Lopez shows Ben what he's missing after divorce in a sultry revenge photo. Real life, real Americans, real people in real towns, when they get divorced, it's messy, ugly, and but they're not sending out sultry photographs. Only stars do that crazy, stupid things.
Yeah, like you couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
So after a whirlwind, rekindled romance that resulted in 2 weddings, a European honeymoon, a massive mansion purchase, and a whole music album, Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce from Ben Affleck on their 2nd wedding anniversary. So on the day of their 2nd wedding anniversary. But this is what I found out. This is what really got me crazy about J-Lo. J-Lo dropped off the divorce papers solo, no lawyer by her side, on August 20th, which marked her and Ben's anniversary. So
Anniversary. Happy anniversary, honey.
Happy anniversary. So she gets the paperwork that says they're getting divorced. She hops in her car, drives over to Ben's house, wherever Ben's mansion is.
Yeah.
Knocks on the door. Ben opens the door, and she says, "Here, you're served on our 2nd wedding anniversary. We're getting divorced."
Good. And by the way, I'm keeping my $10 million diamond.
Yeah, she's not giving. She's got diamonds.
She has 10 rings.
I have some about that too coming up. She says, and court documents obtained by People magazine show that the singer cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. So she changed her name, by the way, from Jennifer Lynn to Jennifer Lynn Affleck from Jennifer Lopez.
A real serious commitment on her part.
Well, it kind of was, because that's these celebrity they have their name, and they don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, well, that was after the album didn't sell and the tour got canceled.
No, she did this right after she married him. She changed her name in July of 2022, and now she's requesting to change her surname back to Lopez when she filed for divorce. She specified in her divorce petition, which she filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, that the court deny her and ex the ability to collect spousal support. That means she makes more than Ben. She doesn't want him coming around just looking for some money, alimony.
Well, but he's done all right too. I mean, God, he's got hugely successful movies, I don't think he has to worry about being able to support his kids.
Well, the actors make movies and they give some residual money, but
Yeah,
music people, especially somebody like her who's a
yeah, it's
crossover, she's got
big.
publishing. Money just rolls in forever.
Yeah,
Somebody in the op-ed by this, a writer by the name of Jennifer Werner said, bitched at J-Lo for taking Ben's name, saying that if you take your husband's name, that's a submission, by the way. Like you're saying that you belong to him.
instead
Not
of
even, yeah.
yeah, instead of you're in love with him. Yeah,
So I'm not going to tell our wives about this. Maybe I don't want them to get upsteperous and Valerie start pulling out, making me use her last name or something now.
well, my wife never took my last name in her career. I mean, she kept her name for years and years, and I'm glad she did, because that's the only way I can get a reservation in a restaurant anymore.
She doesn't have to be partied all these people chasing you down for the money you owe them. So she's had 4 marriages and 6 proposals, which means she has about 10 engagement rings. And including, Affleck, and including A-Rod, P. Diddy. She was with Mark Anthony, 2004 to 2014. Her first and shortest marriage was somebody named Ohani Noah, a Cuban actor from 97 to 98.
Yeah,
That didn't last very long. She got home, she said, I just married some Cuban fool. See ya.
yeah. He couldn't get papers to get into the States, so she divorced him.
He's still in Cuba wondering what the hell happened.
That's right.
She was with P. Diddy's, the relationship was marked by them almost getting involved in a murder that took place at a nightclub when she was there in the nightclub with P. Diddy, and some gunfire breaks out all over the place. And
Well, everybody still claims he did it. Everybody
probably
still,
did it.
yeah, everybody still thinks he's skated on that one.
Yeah, he got away with a lot of stuff P. Diddy did until this past, till videotape catches him beating the hell out of that woman.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's enough of talking about J-Lo. Speaking of diamonds, however, you sent me a picture of the second largest diamond ever found, 2,492 carats. This thing is the size of I'll show the picture of it.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, I like the way the diamonds look when they're on somebody's finger, though. The raw diamonds just look kind of like big clunky looking rocks.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
but
know
you,
one.
But you look at that thing and you go, man, oh man, there's some serious rings coming out of that.
You're serious? There'll be one of them will be 2 of those will be hanging on earrings off J-Lo's ears.
Yeah.
Or on her finger from the next poor sap.
Yeah, the
It's
next
A-Rod's turn to come back again because now she gives all her boyfriends second chances. So A-Rod's probably at her door right now with a giant ring in his hand. The largest diamond ever found in more than a century has been unearthed in a mine in Botswana. Now, where the hell's Botswana?
Down there.
I don't know where it's at. I know that it has to be in Africa, but I don't know where.
Yeah.
And the country's president showed off the fist-sized stone to the world in a viewing ceremony Thursday. They said the huge 2,492 carat diamond is the second largest ever discovered in a mine. Before the discovery, the Sassuolo diamond, which was found at this Caraway mine in 2019, was recognized as the second largest at 1,758 carats. So this one surpassed that.
Did
The
you
first
see that?
one-
Did you see that note on that second largest one they found? They also found another hell, a giant rock next to it that was like 80 carats, and they surmised that it was all one stone, and it just got broken apart during the mining process.
I see. So they would have had the double-sized largest.
Yeah.
The largest one is a black diamond that they found, but it's not quite as pure, and they think it came from a meteorite. But it's still considered by carats the largest diamond ever found.
Yeah.
My wife's diamond is like a 1/100th of a carat. Cost me like $45. I'm not even sure if it's a diamond at all. I never told her that though. She said, I want to get this insured. I go, no.
Yeah. No, honey, don't go have it examined.
I'll go get that. Why are all these diamonds found in places like Botswana?
Well, it's got to be something to do with the geography. I mean, I don't think we're going to find any out here in the desert.
Well, why not? What's the nickname of our little town?
Gem of the desert.
That's right. So if there's this, we're the gem of the desert. Where are the gems at? I know where they're at. They're around those
You and
divorcee
me.
necks.
You and me. It's you and me.
We're the gems. I wish I was a friend of Taylor Swift.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? You'd never have to pay for an airline ticket. You'd eat like a king. You'd travel the world, and be with nice people. She's a remarkably, I mean, if you believe everything you read in print and see, she's a remarkably cool person. It just seems like she's really well grounded, charitable. Just seems like living life and doing it the right way.
Yeah. I saw her, I think I've told you before, when she was 16.
Yeah,
A girl playing on stage, playing country music.
yeah.
And nobody knew who she was. We were just like, yeah, okay, hi. But she has, I mean, yeah, she's got it all. She flies around. She does what she wants. And she seems well adjusted, nice, normal, nice parents. And she's rich.
Bill with a B.
It's like when you go to her house, you're eating from a buffet that's got some good food in it. And when you're old like me, you want a buffet and give me some crab legs. Ugh.
Yeah,
So she had a big party this past weekend with her Kansas City Chiefs boyfriend, Travis Kelce, at her home in Watch Hill. And when you have a home that's got a name,
yeah. A neighbor in a neighborhood. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What's your name at your house, Mike? Little Doggy.
Little Doggy.
My house doesn't even have a name.
On
My house has a
Avenue.
name. Has a name. It's a ABC Mortgage.
Exactly.
This marked the first time, according to TMZ, that the couple who've been dating since 2023 were seen together since Kelsey attended her Eras Tour show in Germany last month.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
By the way, did you see that Travis Kelce and his brother, Amazon just paid them over $100 million for their podcast?
I like the Kelsey, which one is his name? Travis, who's dating her. But that other goof, the brother,
Yeah, he's.
they're
only
not going to
reason-
be.
Yeah, he just retired, and he was one of the best centers in football. But now that he's retired, if he wasn't Travis Kelce's brother, nobody'd know who he was.
This is, by the way, they're going to have to follow in some big shoes by the Manning brothers, who have their own big ass deal. They do that game within a game for ESPN.
Yeah, they annoy me though.
All right.
They're a little sweet.
As Eli Manning will come over your house and beat the crap out of you, old man.
He can't catch me. My horse is faster than he is.
You want to know who came by the Swiftie, besides Bradley Cooper with his 8-year-old daughter, Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany also showed up was Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. They, those two, have been making news of their own. Him with Deadpool and Wolverine, and her with her crazy, whatever that movie's called, The End of This or this.
Yeah, the soft sell on abuse. She'd want you to think it's a rom-com, and it's not. It's a movie about domestic violence.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talk about rom-coms a lot on here, like that one with Kevin Costner you like, the rom-com with Kevin and his stupid horse.
Don't get on my boy Kevin. I'm telling you, you're going to be proven wrong. You're going to get enthralled with that movie when you watch it at home for free.
Yeah, it is on. I saw that it's out there for free now.
Yeah.
But it's not. But yeah, she's marketing as if it's something it's not.
Yeah.
And yet, the movie's a huge hit and it's making money hand over fist. But there's some kind of a feud with her and the director, who's also the co-star, and I can't keep track of all. But I haven't seen it. Did you see that? Did you go see that one?
No, I have no interest. I have no interest.
Anyways, I know who wasn't invited to the Swiftie party.
You and me.
Well, besides you and me, but that's obvious. We're not going to get an invitation. It's the crazy Madonna, the crazy looking Madonna.
God, come
I'm
on.
going to put up a picture here of what she
No,
looked
don't.
like
No, please
in,
don't.
in the old days and what she looks like now, and it's startling.
It's scary.
It is
It's
scary.
scary.
It's scary, like, and when you use the word scary, it's like scary, like if you were it was Halloween, you went to one of those haunted houses, and as she walked through it, you would go,
Yeah.
scare you.
No, you'd back up screaming.
Yeah.
No,
Lots of work done on her face. And it got me thinking about aging rock stars. It's not easy. J-Lo's going to find out in a few short years here when you start seeing her face start getting rigid and
Yeah.
looking different. Like nobody's interested in what you're recording anymore because your music is not relevant. And you're getting old, so you're trying to stay relevant somehow. So in Madonna's case, she takes on younger and younger boyfriends.
Oh.
And now it's this 28-year-old. She's about 65, I think. And she has
At
this
least.
28-year-old boyfriend who calls himself a soccer player. And they said he plays on a premier team. So I looked it up. It's a team that's in some small, I don't even know where it's at. It's in some small ridiculous team in Oyster Bay, Massachusetts. It's called Oyster Bay United FC. No one's ever heard of it. And I'm a soccer freak, and I know every soccer team of note in this country and every soccer player of note in this country. And an Oyster Bay, it's basically one step above playing for your high school team.
Yeah, she annoys the shit out of me these days. Just awful. And the costume, God, it's just frightening.
Well, but this is the point I guess I'm trying to make is that it's tough on all these aging stars. Now, some manage the transition, usually the males, but not even all the males do because there was a picture this week of Rick Springfield. Jesse's girl. I want to be Jesse's girl.
No, that's enough.
And Springfield turned the picture of himself cutting a birthday cake. He's 75.
Oh my God.
And he's got a ton of hair.
I do too.
Oh,
I just
please.
keep it coiffed.
Keep it disguised as big forehead. No, I don't have any hair. That's disgusting. I don't know Rick Springfield. I think there's something like that too. With Jagger's got hair. How does the rock stars amongst all other people, men, manage to keep their hair into their 80s?
I know. Did you see the feature the other night, by the way, on the Stones?
No.
They interviewed him individually and then as a group. It was terrific. It was just terrific, and they were talking about basically the same thing. And Keith Richards, with his head in the bandana, and he said, man, he says it's just people still dig our music. It's pretty cool. We love each other, and
I dig the Stones' music, but it's not anything new that they've done that I dig.
No, but I have to say, Mary and I went to a concert of theirs probably in the last 4 or 5 years, and Jagger still is. I mean, it's compelling. It's just, and you lose sight of the fact, for the moment at least, that he's almost as old as I am. Nobody's that old, but he was good. I mean, it was a hell of a show. It was
I
really
guess
good.
I'm not going to those. I have my friend. I saw him over this past weekend. This guy named Norbert, by the way. His name is actually Norbert. In 2024, there's still a human being named Norbert. And Norbert goes to all these old concerts. He's about my age. And he goes, oh, yeah, I saw Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney looks like, he's got jowls bigger than yours. And he's
Almost.
old. and I saw the Stones in 1972 in Cleveland Stadium. And they were just coming from or going to Altamont where they had that big riot. They were playing, so he was dressed up like a devil, and everybody is high. There's wafts of smoke in Cleveland Stadium, and they're a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
This version in 2024. By the way, if I'd said to Mick Jagger that night in 72, you're still going to be out there doing this in 2024, he'd probably, I don't know what he'd do. He wouldn't be, well, maybe he'd be happy. He'd probably think, shit, I'm still making money on it.
Yeah, shit,
Why not?
all this abuse I'm putting myself through, I'll still be alive.
You know why he's still alive? This is called a segue, by the way, because he wears Crocs.
Absolutely. And he keeps them clean.
Yeah, you sound that's first of all, everybody that's listened to this podcast knows what I feel about Crocs. I think they're the I'm not even going to go into what I think about them. I think they're so stupid.
You are
Plastic things on your
are
feet with
you are
holes in them.
so jaded. You are so jaded.
But you sent me an article, I think, about how to care and clean them, or I
Clean 'em.
saw it on my own.
I did that. No, I sent it to you just to antagonize you.
Well, it worked. I threw it was like, nobody would be allowed in my house with Crocs
I'm
on.
going to buy you some for Christmas. Just to see you on, and I'm going to make
You'll get them
your wife.
get your size in because you're going to get them re-gifted to you in a couple of months after it. All right. Anyways, and the other thing about Crocs that only a modern man would wear, and a modern women wear Spanx. You know what Spanx are?
Yeah. I'm not going to go into how I know, but I'm just going to tell you I know.
Spanx are like these plastic things that women put on, and it just tightens up everything. So you could weigh 350 pounds. You could weigh 350 pounds. You put on a Spanx, you look like you weigh 120.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Kind of. But they unveiled a new line of stiletto-heeled sneakers called Sneaks. Spanx serve a purpose. When I was a
Yeah.
little boy, my mother would struggle into this thing called a girdle. I don't know if you ever saw one of those.
Yeah. It's like a tubular compression sock for your
Terrible.
waist.
Had all these little buttons and straps on them and stuff. And oh my God, good Lord, women in those days went through hell to look skinny. So they came up with Spanx, which was revolutionary. And the owner, her name is Sarah Blakely. 25 years ago, she invented Spanx, and she's worth about $20 billion.
Yeah.
So she came up with this Sneaks. She said it took her 9 or 10 years of development to come up with these things. I'm showing pictures of them, or about to show pictures of them. They look stupid. They're not going to be selling any billions of these things.
No, I agree. I just can't imagine why a woman wearing any kind of outfit would say, "Gee, I wish my sneaker had a high heel, so
No.
I could go out to an event requiring high heels wearing my sneakers." I don't get it.
Well, Blakely's basically saying they're going to be super comfortable. She said there's 3 reasons. There's 3 main points that women have with their heels now. The first is their toes get squeezed at the end of them. So they're making these Sneaks that their toes don't get squeezed. The second one, there's always been a gap between your foot and the shoe in the heel, basically where the arch is. So this is supposed to get rid of that. And the third point is balance. Traditional high heels for hundreds of years, 80% of the weight is on the half of our foot and 20% is on the heel, the front half of the foot, and 20% on the heel. So that this is supposed to distribute the weight better, so you're going to walk more comfortably. Who cares? It's ridiculous.
No. What it's a big discussion because my wife, who as you know, was a very highly placed retail fashion executive for years and still consulting at a high level. She thinks it's a fabulous idea. And she can't wait to get a pair. And I'm like, I have no idea where you're going to wear them or why. I mean, I don't know.
I'm going to see how much they cost.
$400 to $600 a pair.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If I was this Blakely, I'd use some of my billions, and you pay somebody like some big star, Jennifer Lawrence. You say, Jennifer Lawrence, here's $10 million. The next time you go, one of your movie premieres, wear this.
Yeah.
As you do your step and repeat, and wear these shoes, and then everybody will have them.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of luxury buys, but not for human luxury buys, for dog luxury buys, which is something that I deal with on a daily basis. Because my wife would put that dumb dog of ours in rhinestone if she had the chance.
Truman, come on. He's a good guy.
He's back here with me now. He made the trip back with me in
Is
the
he
car.
happy? Is he happy?
Yeah, he's happy to be home. He's just lying there now, sleeping away, not scratching at himself. He was itchy, scratchy, like he was nervous the whole time he was away.
Probably got sand fleas at the beach. Did you
No,
have them
they
checked?
don't allow you the dogs on the beach where we were at. There's
No.
no dogs on that beach.
Okay,
This is a clean beach
of course, of
for
course.
adults only, human
Oh, but
adults.
wait, but wait. Did he ride all the way back home with you in the Porsche?
No, in another car.
Oh, okay.
He was sitting in the back, and I have one of those things. I bought one of those things that drapes over the back seat, so because he's
Oh, yeah.
also shedding, so he doesn't get air all over the place.
Yeah.
And that was the best thing we bought because that thing is just full of hair. He sheds. He's an 80-pound dog. He sheds every day enough hair to make a small poodle.
Afghan.
There's hair everywhere. It's nuts. I told you we had to buy a Dyson to deal with this
Yeah, yeah.
hair business, and the Dysons aren't cheap, but it's the best vacuum cleaner you can get when when your dog is just literally dropping hair all over the place.
Yeah. Don't they make a special head or a fixture for pet hair? So it
Yeah,
doesn't
they
get
probably
all
do.
done.
I don't know if ours has it, but they probably do.
Yeah, I think they do.
So Valerie's looking at this luxury catalog for dogs. It said you could buy a tuft and needle dog bed for $200.
Oh, good.
I said, well, no, Truman can continue to sleep on a cardboard box. Thank you very much. and then get a blanket for him, Cloud 7 dog blanket, $220. And then for wearing around when you're out, a Mungo and Mod cashmere dog sweater, which costs $180. Now, anybody who puts their dogs in a sweater where we live is going to be thrown into jail because it's too hot. It'll kill the
Too
dog.
hot, yeah.
You could get a Wild One traveler carrier priced at $150, which is not terrible. I mean, if you have a small dog and you want to bring him on the airplane, don't bring him near me. But if you bring him on the airplane, you can bring him in this Wild One travel carrier.
Yeah, you're lucky they don't make one big enough for Truman.
They could make one big enough for me. My wife could drag me aboard as a carry-on. Wouldn't have to pay for another seat. A Paco and Lucia quilted dog coat for $140. But here's the classic one, the end one. Because Ralph Lauren will do anything to make a penny.
Anything.
There's a Ralph Lauren dog polo for, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please, $95.
Great. That's just what they cost for humans. Yeah.
That's right, they do. You're right. That's about the same
Yeah.
price.
Same price.
Maybe they are the human ones he's not selling.
Yeah.
He just puts
The
an extra two
The
holes
extra
in it.
small. The extra small.
Sews up the end, puts more 2 leg holes in it, and sells it. In his factories in South Asia, he's got some people sitting there. Here's a full shirt. Make it into a dog polo. All right, in New York City, always a lot of fun in New York City. You live on top of each other. It's crazy. For 20 years, a group of parrots and their owner lived in the Rutherford, a co-op apartment building in the ritzy Gramercy Park neighborhood of Manhattan. I've been to Gramercy Park. It's not,
It's not.
it's not the Upper East Side. It's not the lower. It's a sort of a middle, but ground.
Yeah.
But it's, and New York, everything's expensive, and you're on top of each other.
Yeah.
So for all these years, the neighbors complained that this woman, what was her name? Lesser is her last name, Merrill Lesser, that she had 3 parrots in her house named Ginger, Layla, and Curtis, and that they were making such horrendous noise every day for 20 years that the neighbors went berserk. They just had it. They were going insane. They were ready to jump out of their windows. So they went to the co-op board, which is the board that runs these places, runs these apartments, and they said, you got to get rid of her. Co-op board then tries to evict her. She goes to the city and says, fights the eviction, and what she used as the reason for the parrots that she shouldn't be evicted is that they were support birds.
Of course, they were.
Emotional support animals who also cared for her. Now, you and I have bitched about support care animals for a long time.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of ridiculous when you can just say any kind of animal, snake to a rhinoceros,
Shetland pony.
is your support care animal. But it doesn't seem like parrots would necessarily qualify. Well, they did. It set off a long and complicated legal battle that ended last week when the federal government announced in a settlement that has imposed the largest ever financial penalty on the building that had denied its residents' rights to service animals. So they have to pay her. She gets to stay there. Well, she doesn't get to stay there. Here's what they did. They said they're going to give her $165,000 and then they have to buy her apartment from her for $585,000. That, by the way, is when I knew that we're not talking about a high-end New York apartment. The high-end New York apartment are in the millions.
Yeah. So she got basically $800,000
Yeah,
in a judgment by the federal government, who we look to kind of run shit in this world, and they're tied up making decisions in cases like this.
Well, during the eviction proceedings, Miss Lesser supported her claim with a letter from her psychiatrist, who said that she needed her brood of parrots in order to function optimally.
Oh, good. Which would make you question.
I know what you need to function optimally.
What does she do?
Yeah.
I need a glass of gin.
That's right. I was going to say, your support animal is actually a juniper berried beverage.
That's right.
With about 80 proof of alcohol in it. All right. Well, Miss Lesser, at least she got out of that, got some dough out of it. This next woman had a little harder luck in her life. Jessie Marie Peterson, she had been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 10 years old. And so she's 31 years old. So 21 years later, she's admitted to the hospital. And I can't remember where this was at.
San Francisco, wasn't it? Bay Area?
All right, the Bay Area, that's right. She was issued to a Bay Area hospital on April 6, 2023. 2 days later, she called her mom. Her mom's name was Ginger Kanji, and she said, "Can you come pick me up for the complaint?" Well, mom couldn't get there. There was some mix-up, so mom figured that she got home on her own. A couple of days later, she calls up and they say that her daughter left the medical center against medical advice, and there was no one there by that name.
Oops.
So Corgi asked them to double check because I just seen her a week before and spoke to her on the telephone. I spelled her name for them, and the man on the phone said, "Well, we don't have anybody by that name," and basically hung up on her. So it turns out the reason that there's a story at all is that they found her body, Jessie Marie Pedersen's body, in cold storage a year after the hospital said she checked out.
A year?
Yeah, well, the fact is she's dead, too. So she had died that day.
Hopefully, if she's in cold storage, she's dead.
She's dead. She died 2 hours after that phone call that she had with her mom asking her to come home. And the hospital had, for whatever reason, shipped the body. She died of a cardiac arrest while suffering from a diabetic comatosis, a lack of insulin. They transferred the body from Mercy San Juan Medical Center to one of the medical center's off-site cold storage facilities and forgot about her.
And didn't tell the family.
So the family hired a private detective. They hired all kinds of people to help them find it. And finally, somebody who worked at the cold storage facility, probably tripped over the body and said, "Oh, wait a minute, who's this?"
Yeah.
And they found her.
But it was a year later.
Yeah, a year later.
This
past April.
Yeah. Good Lord. I
Hospitals
wonder if they went through the cold storage facility and did an inventory after that, just to double check.
Yeah, where's this body here from?
Yeah, who's this guy?
This guy. We better make sure we have the records here at this off-site place. All bodies all stacked up all over the place.
Yeah.
All right. And continuing on the medical world, medical stories. A man who was bleeding from his head following a surgical procedure was arrested Tuesday after he refused to exit an American Airlines flight headed for Vegas from Miami. So,
Florida. Why does this not surprise me?
Oh, so here's the deal to this story. This is crazy. This dude had a hair transplant. and it must not have gone so well because he's bleeding from the scalp. But that doesn't deter him from getting on an airplane to take him to back to Miami. But he gets on the airplane, the blood coming out of his head. He sits down there and he's trying to act normal about it. And the people are freaking out on board because they don't know what's going on with this guy. And they don't like the fact that there's body fluids flowing all over the place. And the flight attendants try to get him off. And then he gets belligerent. So they finally have to, I don't know what they did, whether they turned around and went back but they arrested him. His name was Eugenio Hernandez Garnier, 27. He's only 27 and getting a hair transplant.
Yeah.
He was asked to leave American Airlines Flight 1858 because he was bleeding from his forehead and had a bloody bandage wrapped around his head. According to NBC News.
What, did he go straight from the operating room? Good Lord.
Yeah. He was asked to clean up the blood and replace the bandages, but he did not. But he said he didn't have any clean bandages. So he's asked multiple times to deboard the flight by the American Airlines supervisor due to the fact that he was bleeding from the head and the crew members were concerned about his medical condition and body fluid contamination.
Yeah. Would you like a little blood with your potato chips? God.
How would you like to go in there and sit down and then look next to you and the guy sitting next to you has got blood coming down his face? Oh man. It's bad enough when you get on an airplane anyways and people are so, rude and they're dressed all crazy or not wearing shoes and I hate it.
Yeah. I wonder how he got through TSA.
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me, sir, is that blood? No.
I'm good. Well, that's more of your tax dollars at work.
Exactly.
Letting those TSA guys, they're not going to college to be TSA agents, by the way.
No, if our nation's destiny rests in their hands, the crack security.
Yeah, who knows? He might have sewed a bomb in his head and tried to sew the skin back over it.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
All right, that is our show for today. Usually we end with our Florida story, that fool. Please subscribe. Do you subscribe? I'll also say this time, Mike, you don't have to do anything. If somebody subscribes, I'm going to give you my personal phone number. You can call up and ask me any question you want, and I'll answer it.
No, you won't. You don't answer.
I don't even know if I'll take a call, but
yeah,
I may.
Just leave a message.
If you don't like looking at that scruffy man there with that bad haircut and those jowls and everything else, then go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts where you can subscribe there. We don't care where you subscribe, just subscribe.
Just subscribe.
Send us an email to oldpeoplethisweek@gmail.com. We'll answer any questions you have. You can give us comments like people are becoming prone to do. I'm waiting for the one that just rips on us about something. We've been lucky so far. Nobody's been terrible to us.
They love us. What's not to love?
Not to love. Or check out our Substack at 52task.substack.com where we give you a piece of advice and a task to perform, and it will make you a better person. Is there anything else going on, Mike?
That's it.
Now that I'm back, we're going to have to hit a happy hour at the old Roadrunner.
Friday. Keep Friday open.
I will, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
If the wife doesn't come back, especially.
All right.
Sneak down there. She won't have to know that I'm sneaking out to have a happy hour without her. All right, everyone, take care.
All right.
See you next week. Adios.
Take care.